once it's on.
It's an extraordinary honor and a surreal experience to speak to all of the purple heroes in the room tonight. Wow. There are many reasons that it's a miracle that I'm here standing before you this evening, the eve of my first half marathon. Reason number one is just that. I'm standing here. Half marathon? Who is this woman? I've never even walked a 5K, never mind walk 13.1 miles. But now, thanks to team and training, and just like all of you, I can proudly say I am an endurance athlete. And reason number two is that I'm here with four of my dearest college friends from the University of Scranton, celebrating our 50th birthdays. Who does this for a 50th birthday celebration? In our planning over the past few years, we tossed around the idea of having a relaxing beach weekend, or maybe even a weekend in Vegas. But these wonderful friends agreed to endure months of training and to do fundraising to celebrate this milestone birthday and our friendship. Nothing like this was ever on our potential 50th birthday getaway list. So what happens in Vegas may stay in Vegas, but what we planned to do in DC, we told everyone we came in contact with in the hope of receiving donations to support the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in their mission. And our team, 64 for a Cure, has raised over $30,000. And the third reason that it's surprising that I'm here, participating in an endurance event, and the reason my friends instantly agreed to form the team 64 for a Cure, is that I have myeloma, cancer of the plasma cells. It's hard to say that, sorry. 1 year ago, when I was in treatment, I did not have the energy to climb up the stairs without stopping midway. So we have formed this team as a celebration, to celebrate beautiful friendships, to celebrate our milestone birthday, but also to celebrate what myeloma warriors will understand as stringent, complete response, and most people call remission. I am blessed and grateful. I will share with you a bit of my myeloma journey. About 2.5 years ago, after my yearly physical, my doctor told me that my white blood cell count was low. Nothing to worry about, she assured me, but be sure to get it rechecked. After 2 more blood tests with similar results, she referred me to a hematologist. But I was the busy mom of 3 young boys. At that point, twins who were 11 and a 9-year-old. I volunteered at their school, I worked full-time, and my dear mother was very sick, in and out of the hospital, and I didn't have time for another doctor. In the meantime, I started having terrible pain in my ribs. I thought it was from too much kayaking on the weekends. And the back pain, it must be that hovering over the computer at work. So I started stretching, I took some Advil, but nothing worked. And sadly, it wasn't until my mother passed away, and I took a bereavement week off from work, that I started to take care of myself. I met with the hematologist, and he too didn't appear to be worried. I told him about the pain and my evaluation of the causes, and he seemed to agree. I told him my father died from myelodysplastic syndrome, another rare blood cancer. His ears perked up, but I thought nothing of it. I left the office and never thought about that doctor again, until about a week later, as we were clearing the dishes off the table from dinner, the phone rang. The conversation went something like this. Mary Jane, it's Dr. Ginsburg. I need to see you tomorrow. Please come to my office at 11 a.m. But before you come to see me, I need you to go get x-rays done of your entire body. You have a form of blood cancer. It was only after I promised him that I would not look anything up on the internet that he told me that I have myeloma. By telling me how much things had improved in myeloma treatment over the past decade and how the internet is completely outdated, he scared me sufficiently to keep me from doing any research. The only thing I knew is that Geraldine Ferraro had myeloma, and I had seen her speak when she was in treatment, and she was as inspiring as ever, so it can't be too bad. How is that for desperate rationalization? This is not what I wanted to have in common with Geraldine Ferraro, but it is what it is. I went to get my x-rays done in the morning, a panel of x-rays of every bone in my body, and by noon, my world was completely rocked. The doctor explained about myeloma and about the advances that have been made in the past 10 years, and how, thanks to research, what had been the prognosis of a very short lifespan, under 3 years, now improved to a decade or more. He explained the current treatment protocols, little of which I could understand. What I did understand, and what my husband Bob says, is the only thing he really remembers from this appointment, is the doctor saying, no known cause and no known cure. Now how's that for rocking your world? The doctor also said, yes, I definitely should get a second opinion, but based on my blood work, I need to be in treatment within the week. No time to feel sorry for myself, lots of research to do. Fortunately, a short time later, I became part of a clinical trial at the Myeloma Center at Weill Cornell Medical College with Dr. Ruben Nowitzki, and that has made all the difference. So what is myeloma? It's cancer of the plasma cells, normally responsible for producing antibodies. Because it impacts the immune system, patients tend to get infections more frequently, such as pneumonia. Many patients have kidney problems. One major symptom is bone pain that is intense and complex, and it's everywhere. Many people are diagnosed because of unexplained bone fractures. When I was first diagnosed, I asked the doctor if I could go fishing with my boys that weekend, and he said no. Casting off could break my arm or my shoulder blade. It's weird, right? I met a myeloma patient whose arm broke when he was at the grocery store, and he picked up a gallon of water. As simple as that, and his arm snapped. For me, the pain became so bad I could not get out of bed without assistance. Every trip in the car was difficult because any bump in the road would make me scream in pain. My husband Bob, who with my 3 children are here with me tonight, are my biggest supporters. Bob became solely responsible for the house and the boys, and became my personal caregiver. Bob even had to help me off the PET scan table because I really couldn't move without searing pain. No painkillers seemed to work well enough. Despite the pain I was in, thankfully my bone damage is not too bad, but I'm still careful because the myeloma can come back without notice, and there's still no cure. There are patients in remission for a long time, a few lucky ones, upward of 20 years. There are patients who never reach remission, but are in treatment for over a decade. And there are those for whom the current treatments don't work at all, and they don't make it. The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society has been a huge part of the improvements in life expectancy. They advanced the FDA approval of both the chemo I took as my initial treatment and the maintenance medicine that I am on right now. The current LLS focus for myeloma is on treatment for high-risk patients. The current protocols don't work well enough for people with certain gene malfunctions, making them high risk, and I fall into that category. I have hope that backed by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, more treatments will be discovered and approved, and I will survive for a good long time. On January 1st this year, I decided to take action. I am in remission, and I long to become more active both physically and with the myeloma community. So it was 115 days ago today that I first contacted the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. My friends in the Long Island chapter over there. about team and training, and I wanted details about their support group. Within 2 days, I was contacting my friends about this birthday celebration idea, and I joined the myeloma support group that meets right in my hometown. So to think that I have trained with the Long Island chapter of TNT for the past 3 months, some weeks leaving my house before the sun rose to walk in the bitter cold. I have completed a 12-mile training walk, and I plan to cross the finish line with all of you tomorrow. Really is amazing, astonishing, and surreal. Before I finish, I want to share with you a brief poem that was written about me for this occasion by my best friend, Mary Minor. There are sounds that resonate with me. The sounds of skates cutting across the rink, the waves off Fire Island, my 3 boys in the back seat, a canoe paddle in a Berkshire lake. They are the sounds that I will never forget. The sound of my doctor telling me that I have myeloma, that's the sound of a pin dropping. That's the sound that echoes off my bedroom walls each day when I wake and each night when I lay down to sleep. I had a choice. Let the sound become a pounding gong or an outdoor symphony. I chose to hear the sweet music, and that's when I started walking. So what are the sounds that will resonate with you tomorrow as you run or walk your half marathon? The sound of your feet hitting the pavement, the thump of your heart beating, the cheer of the crowds as we run through DC, or the whisper of Abraham Lincoln saying, "Don't give up on what's important to you," or Martin Luther King Jr. saying, "This is a race worth running." Or will it be the voice of your 12-year-old echoing your words, "Believe in yourself"? What I want you to hear, loud and clear, is thank you from the thousands of patients and caregivers whose lives you have touched by being a part of TNT. Your willingness to take these steps to end blood cancer means a longer life for thousands of patients like me. And you are all part of my miracle. Thank you so much, and go team.
Thank you so much, Mary Jane. I had occasion to spend some quality time with Mary Jane last night. She's going to stick with me for a long time.